So last week at work, I was talking to a customer and he went to go shake my hand and I shake his hand and he's like, "Oh, I'm surprised your hand isn't smoother." And I frowned at him and he's like, "Wow, from hacking all that sugar cane, right?" And I just give him a look and he's like, "You're black, right?" And I was just kind of taken aback why someone would say that to me, why my hand wasn't smooth. Must be from hacking sugar cane. Clearly, I don't hack sugar cane. I live in New York City and I'm working at a restaurant, so that was an incident that I experienced.
While walking the streets around 11 p.m., there was an assault occurring on a homeless person. The assault was caused by a drunk, a white male who was drunk, intoxicated basically, and he assaulted the homeless person for no apparent reason. The homeless person was sleeping in the corner, you know, minding his own business while the drunk came up to him, kicked him, assaulted him, and in a way battered the homeless person to a point where the ambulances were called and the homeless person went to the hospital when the drunk got arrested. Well, what I see of it is like it's an attack on a minority. It's an attack on a helpless human being, as well as the homeless person did nothing wrong to the drunk. So I guess in one way, that's one experience and one scene that I've encountered during my time. Thank you.
So, hate crime against minority. I remember one time, a cousin of mine, she's black, well, skin tone black, obviously she's Dominican like me, but I remember we were at a mall once, and there were some guys that were near us while we were eating, and they were kind of staring at her and stuff, and they're like, "Oh man, she looks so fine, had to be black." And we heard this, but these guys were talking in Spanish, so they probably thought that we were, white, or her in her case, black. So they just, started mouthing her off in Spanish, and they probably thought she didn't understand what she was saying. So, I mean, this kind of stuff happens all the time. She actually went up to them and started responding to them in Spanish, and pretty much shut them up pretty quick. Pretty much shut their mouths up, and I think this should be a common reaction when it comes to, people racially profiling you in any kind of way. I mean, it doesn't really have to be violent. It could be sexual profiling, like what happened here towards a minority, like my cousin.
So me and my friend were leaving the Dominican Republic, and we had to go through luggage checking. And well, they let me through, and my friend, she got stopped, and they started checking her luggage. They were checking everything. They checked her whole luggage. They started checking her purse, going through everything. And I was really shocked. I couldn't believe it. But they did it because she looked his panic, and I don't know, like,
That students our age or even younger are usually educated when it comes to minorities, how they should be treated, or how you should act against the minority.
Hell no, they have no idea.
What do you think? What do you think plays a role in educating, students about it? Just the government, schools, parents.
I think parents are the ones that should do it because kids tend to get a little bored in school, so they might not even really pay attention or just consider this a boring lesson, so they'll probably ignore it.
So what measurements do you think parents should take to educate their kids about minorities?
Talk to them about it, more or less. I know that sounds like a cliche answer, but that's what I think.
Yes, you think parents should talk to their kids about minorities, explain to them, there's a lot of ethnicities around.
I personally don't care. I personally I don't believe the whole minority thing. We're all humans. The only thing that's different is the amount of melanin we have in our skin.
Consider that, people in general, like, the whole society, you think that we're educated when it comes to minorities?
I think so.
Yeah, you think everyone,
I think most people are educated. They don't choose to use that education.
Oh, so you consider that these hate crimes against minorities usually happen
Sometimes ignorance.
on purpose?
I wouldn't say on purpose. They just don't think when in this situation.
Do you think hate crimes will ever stop?
That is my dream, actually. For all of us to get to.
Isn't it everyone's dream?
So, I wish it would stop, but anytime soon, I don't think so.
Think it'll ever stop?
Maybe not, because a lot of people like prejudge it, and it's like human behavior, so it probably won't stop until like everyone is perfect, and that's not gonna happen.
All right, thanks, Shanique. And do you think what measurements do you think we should take to lessen this from happening?
I mean, if we see someone getting attacked in any kind of way, we can just step in and say something.
So you think we should all start standing up for each other?
Yeah, why not?
You think it'll ever stop?
I mean, it might stop later in the future, but you never know. There's always hate crimes no matter what, like genocides and stuff like that. So,
Do you think it can ever stop this issue?
It won't, but there are ways you can minimize it. I mean, we can start learning to we can try to show people that there are similarities between individuals, and that we can become equal. That we are all equal. Like, and the only
That
thing,
guy looks mad good.
and the only thing that's different is the layer that we have outside.
What do you think should be? What measures do you think should be taken to have this happen less and less?
To have it happen less, there should be laws. Well, there are laws, but the thing is, catching the people who do it is the problem. That's what I believe the problem is. There are laws that are against discrimination and hate crimes, but the problem is actually catching the people who do it. That's the problem. Because there are police who discriminate against minorities and groups of people, but at the end of the day, most of them don't go to jail because of what they do, because they are officers, and they're supposed to be upholding the law and doing things that are just and not causing injustice against people. So that's the problem.
So what do you think? What measurements do you think should be taken towards this?
Just general education, kind of like what you guys are doing. I guess interviews, spreading the word, public service videos.
People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach and what you turn?